Well, joining me live from the US is Zach Wamp, politician and former US representative for Tennessee. Good afternoon to you, Zach. How are you?
With you again, Janie. It's been a while.
It has been indeed, but we just saw that segment there about Biden. Do you think he's had enough interviews? His approval rate looks like it's 44%.
Well, his approval rating is certainly low, and most people in this country think that he's getting on up there in years beyond what he should be in order to serve another term. So now everybody in this country would like to move beyond President Biden, but if it's President Trump as the alternative, then all of a sudden Biden may be electable again. So I think most of the people in the country would like to move beyond both of the two of them, Trump or Biden. But he's had a few gaffes. He's had a struggle communicating, and he's just up there in years, probably further than the average American would like for a president to be in terms of age.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the gaffes too in 24 hours, Zach, including when Biden says Vladimir Putin is losing the war in Iraq. What are you hearing about his gaffes?
Well, most people, frankly, kind of feel sorry for him because they wish that his wife would have said, one term is enough, and don't run again. We don't need 8 years and him way into his 80s. And so he struggles. There's just no question about it. And again, a lot of people, I think, are kind of turning politics off in this country. The pendulum goes back and forth. Here, everybody was just captivated by it. Trump comes on the scene. He's a celebrity, comes off a TV show. Everybody started watching it. Then you have Biden beat Trump. And now it's like, really, guys, can't we do better than these two? Literally, that's the average person on the street in this country is like, surely we can do better than Biden and Trump. So a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are looking beyond those two characters as we look to 2024. But most people are now kind of turning their attention back to their home, their family, their own pocketbook, as opposed to Washington.
Yeah, sounds very interesting indeed, Zach. In getting to the debates, I mean, 80% of Democrats want Joe Biden to debate his Democratic challengers. How do you see this playing out? Do you think they should debate?
Well, I don't think he will. I don't think he will do anything that's sort of ad lib because he's struggled so much remembering things, communicating with things. I don't think he'll debate any time he can get out of a debate. He's going to get out of a debate. So in the primary, he's certainly not going to debate. The Democrats' problem is that Kamala Harris is just as unpopular as President Biden. The Republicans' problem, obviously, is that Trump's still got 33% of the base. And these other candidates, there are too many of them right now to consolidate any opposition to him. But if the Republicans get behind one candidate in the first 3 months of next year, then it'll be a real horse race on the Republican side. Personally, I believe the only way that Biden retains the presidency is if Republicans nominate Trump. I think if we nominate any of the other major candidates, they will win next year.
Who are some of the favourites in the Republican candidates at the moment?
Well, right now, DeSantis is the one who could consolidate the rest of the country, Republicans, the most, because he's run a big state, Florida, very well, because he's in his 40s, not his 70s or 80s. He served in the military. He basically reads the Constitution. It adheres to the Constitution. And people are ready to get back to someone who has that kind of experience. I think DeSantis has the potential of being another Ronald Reagan.
How did he go campaigning across the border in Texas for a second time? How did that go?
Well, I think every candidate has their assets and liabilities as a candidate. I think he's trying to be Trump-like. So he's going to go and talk about a lot of the Trump issues like building a wall and securing the border. But I think he would govern more like he's run the state of Florida, which is with strength but common sense. I think a whole lot of what Trump talked about doing didn't actually get done. And so DeSantis is showing the contrast between a person who's actually done things and someone who just talked about them. And right now, there's a lot of interest in DeSantis. There's also a real love of some of the other candidates. Tim Scott may be the most popular, Senator Scott of South Carolina. He may be the most popular of all the candidates running for president, but a lot of people feel like he may end up being the vice president instead of the president. So it's going to be fun to watch. But again, the average person in this country is sort of weary of politics because if they're looking at the TV and they only see Trump and Biden, they get discouraged. And of course, Trump loves it because as long as they're talking about him, they're not talking about somebody else, even if they're talking about him in a negative way.